Hey, what's up? Welcome to Sixx Daze. I am Bob Sixx, and this is the Bamberg, Germany edition. When I was 13 years old, I found out that we were going to Germany. And I was, in hindsight, obviously a little scared. I decided I didn't want to go. So I decided I was going to get in as much trouble as I could, and maybe we couldn't go. I phoned in a I phoned in a threat to a school, got picked up by the cops, taken back to school. I didn't call in the threat at my school. I don't really know what made me say it other than deep down I was hoping I'd get in some trouble. Cops took me back to school. I tried really hard to get out of it. And then I just accepted, here we go. We flew on a DC-10, and at the time the engines were falling off of DC-10s. Well, this will be a positive sign if we don't make it to Germany. Anyways, we made it to Germany. It was a rainy, miserable day the day we got there. It was in April. We moved into a small town called Rootlois. It was an old guest house that was converted into 3 or 4 apartments, to include the master place where the owners lived. And I really started digging the country. The people were friendly. It was a small farming community, but everyone greeted everyone when they saw everybody. The kids accepted us. We couldn't speak the language, and all Germans speak some, or younger generation anyways, all Germans speak some English. So they were really accepting. We found ways to communicate, and we played, and we were just like one of them. There was none of this fucking bullshit that goes on here in America. So that was really cool. And then we got off-post housing. We moved to this little town called Troisdorf. We lived in a 3-family dwelling. It was on the side of a mountain, so you walked up 5 stairs to our apartment, which was actually the 2nd floor. And that's where I really started learning to speak German. And the reason I did, I wanted to, but I got motivated to learn, was there was one American kid who spoke fluent German, but he moved back to the States. One German kid who spoke perfect English because his father was the head of the PX system. He's your typical rich douchebag. His name was Mickey. I'll never fucking forget his name. We played with him, but he was still your rich douchebag. Rich douchebags are rich douchebags no matter where you live, apparently. So, because I was with Germans all the time, I learned to speak German. Now, the reason I talk fast, I've said this before, is because I have a southern drawl. When we first went to Germany, I had a very heavy southern drawl, and when I first started learning to speak German, I spoke German with a southern drawl. The Germans were very kind to me, and because they knew I was an American learning their language, they were very forgiving and kind. But ones that didn't know me, like if I was going to say, how are you today? I would say, the gate is there, hoity. And they would just kind of give me a little. And then they would respond and ask me. But as I was speaking German the majority of the time we were there, because the kids we played with, I learned to speak well enough in a very short time that my teacher, my German teacher, Miss Meisetz, actually thought I was German. I was the last person speaking in class one day. And if you're the last person speaking in class, you had to say goodbye to the entire class. So instead of saying Auf Wiedersehen, I said Auf Wiederschnitzel. And she asked me what my mother would think. And I said, well, my mother wouldn't have any idea what I was saying because she doesn't speak German. She was stunned. But I'd lost a little bit of accent, and I would speak German a little bit faster, so I kind of fucked up quite a bit. I still have problems arranging sentences with the masculine, the feminine, and this word goes here and that word goes here. I have problems with that. But the Germans, I never had any problems with any Germans. One girlfriend's dad, when I lived in Troisdorf, he didn't like me. He's a much older guy. I didn't mean older than me, older than my parents. Doris was the youngest of her siblings, so she was the last one at home. But he hated Americans. And every time he saw me, he'd go, blood army. Crazy American. That's what a rough translation. And she asked me one night, she said, how come you never say anything back? I was like, it's your father. I can't be disrespectful. And she said, no, he's going to keep doing that because he used to do that. The American kid that spoke German that moved, he had dated her. And that's how her dad treated him. So one night I was walking home and I was a little drunk, and he was out walking their dog, and he saw me and said, Blöde Army. So I said, Blöde Deutschmann. Crazy German. And he stopped and he looked at me and he nodded and walked on. And from that moment on, every time he saw me, I got Grüß Gott as a greeting instead of Blöde Army. So I had made progress. And that doesn't mean he still liked me, but he didn't call me crazy American all the time. So I totally became immersed into the culture. I love Germans. Matter of fact, the only person I had a problem with was a Turk. I went to an ice cream store. The easiest thing to order in German is ice cream. And he kept acting like he couldn't understand me when my German was better than his. So he's the only person I had a problem with. But as far as being in Bamberg itself, it's a small community. It had 7th through 12th grade. The first year I was there, 1980. They had brought the high school there because they were shipping all the kids to Nuremberg, I believe it was. And so it was the first year there. So my mom helped me back. So I was supposed to be in the 8th grade, but I did 7th grade again. A lot of people didn't know that. If you check your yearbooks, if you're from Bamberg and you're looking at this and you're looking at that first year, you will not find me under this name. You'll find me under my birth name, which was Bob Welch. W-E-L-C-H. That's where you'll find me in your yearbook. So I enjoyed the different ages, the different groups. Everything was great. And I think the best thing my dad did for me was that summer, before I actually started school, was made me play DYA baseball. I purposely was going to blow the tryout, and I did my best to blow it, and I got fucking picked. And I was like, holy shit. Turns out the coach was in my dad's company, and my dad had already told him he wanted me to play baseball. So Cogdell, only old school Bamberg guys will remember him. He was there my first year. We had a second lieutenant the second 2 years. He was a pretty gung-ho baseball guy. But Cogdell picked me, and I was fucking stunned. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the camaraderie. It was a good time. And in school, I'm with all the different races. We all got along. I mean, it's a small. Everybody knew everybody in everybody's business. We all had our own little cliques that we hung out in, but everybody knew everybody, and I really dug that. And the community was so small, you didn't feel threatened. And there was terrorists. I mean, my first summer hire job in Germany was at the transportation motor pool, and some of the terrorists would actually come on post and autograph their wanted posters. You know, there was a big wanted poster that had each picture and their name and blah blah blah. They would come in and autograph their pictures. I always thought that shit was cool. Somehow. Anyways, I fucking loved it. I mean, we all just got along. That doesn't mean there was never fights. I had a few fights there. But for the most part, we all got along. We're all in this together. It was a fucking blast. Now, I was too young to really appreciate all the history. And, you know, as a history nerd, when I read back now, I'm like, holy shit, that was in Bamberg, or that was in Nuremberg, or that was right there. And I didn't fucking go see it. Fucking dumbass. So a lot of my 3 years in Germany was fucking wasted just being young and stupid. More worrying about drinking and smoking hash. And here's one of my favorite hash stories. My best German friend from Troisdorf, his name is Gerald, him and his sister had come to stay with us, you know, spend the weekend with us on post. Well, not on post, we actually lived just off post. But anyways, I had been talking about hash, and Gerald wanted to try it, so I had this piece that I had been saving, and I felt really special about this piece because me and some other friends earlier in the week had been up by this elementary school. It was late at night, and when I cut off some for us to smoke, I dropped the bigger piece. Oh my God, and we look. And thank God we found it, and I wrapped it up in the tinfoil, and I took care of it. And when I got home, I hid it in the spot inside of my speaker where I always hid my drugs. And I'm going to save this for Gerald when he comes next weekend. So when he got there, I was like, are you ready? And he's like, yeah. So me and him were in my room, and I open the window, and I get it out of my speaker, and I put it in my bowl. It's not lighting. What the fuck? So I went to crush it, to try to break it, see maybe it just got hard, and instantly put a blister on the tip of my finger. I didn't find my hash that night. I found a fucking little rock that looked exactly like it. So tried to get stoned to a whole new level. Didn't work out real well. I used to go to this little guest house just off post. If I remember right, it's called the Napoleon. It's about 5 blocks off post. You had to go past the Top Pot shop to get to it. All the cool kids know the Top Pot shop. The first night I went in there, the bar was full, so I sat at a booth, and when the waitress came over, I ordered 10 Bacardi and Cokes, because they served them in these little glasses like this. And she asked me if I had more people coming. I said, no, this keeps you from running back and forth. She asked me again, and all this is going on in German, are you going to drink all these? And I said, yes, I order them 10 at a time until I'm done. So she stood there and watched me drink the 10, went and told the owner who was at the bar. He made someone move so I could sit at the bar. As far as I know, I was the only American they let run a tab. They never cut me off. They treated me really well, but I was very respectful of them when I went in there. I treated all the German people, and I don't mean I didn't have any problems. I had a few fist fights with some German guys, don't get me wrong. We're human beings, it happens. But I always treated the Germans with respect. If you ever talk to someone who says what a shitty time they had in Germany, it's because they were a shitty person and they didn't go out and do anything. They stayed at home. Maybe they weren't a shitty person, but they didn't go anywhere. Go out. The farther away from post you get, the better it is. Because the Americans, in typical American fashion, not all of them, but enough, treat the Germans like shit. And I couldn't fucking stand that. And I didn't hang around people like that. And if I was out with someone, I saw them treat Germans bad, I didn't hang out with them again. They treated me great because they knew I learned their language, I respected them and their culture, and I respected them as people. Well, I guess them and that. But it wasn't hard. I loved it. And I almost moved back. I think I already said that. I almost moved back around the time that the Berlin Wall fell. Excuse me. But my uncle, who had retired there, became a German citizen, told me that it was a different country and I didn't want to come back. And that is probably for the best. I mean, it is the best for me because I met my wife, have 2 great children, and an amazing grandchild. And had I moved to Germany, I wouldn't have had them. So, you know, that part's cool. But it would have sucked if I had went through everything to move back. I mean, I have friends still there, and I want to go back and visit. But it's really sad that, if that's the case, I haven't been so I can't say, but everyone I know who's been back or lives there, or I have friends from France, and the wall has affected France as well. The wall coming down affected France as well. They all say it's not the same place. It kind of sucks. I mean, not sucks like shit here in America sucks, but in comparison to the way it was, sucks. But I still want to go back. I have friends there. I want to go back. Germany is a beautiful country. It was a phenomenal part of my childhood. I'm still really close with a lot of my friends from then. Not everybody. And I've had friends cut ties with me because we're different adults. And that's okay too. I don't have any regrets. I've become closer friends with some that I didn't know, but I knew their sibling because they're older than me. But it was a great, fantastic time, and that's part of the reason I'm for trying different things in life. about stepping outside your comfort zone, because I did step out of my comfort zone in Germany, and it was the greatest thing of my childhood. So, yeah, the people, several people have pointed out I should do this because of the way my eyes light up. And I know I just babbled about Germany, but I was saying whatever came to mind as it happened. They light up because nothing compares to that time in my life as far as my childhood. Nothing. It was the greatest experience ever. And to be perfectly honest, when I found out we were coming home, I got all caught up in the hype that, you know, everybody does. Well, short, going home, going back to the world, blah, blah, blah. I got all caught up in that hype. It was fucking sad. I fucking hated it. I mean, I loved our time. Thankfully, we came back to Fort Lewis, Washington, and climate-wise, it was a lot like Germany. So, and one of my best friends, we weren't best friends in Germany, but we became best friends in Washington. We're still friends to this day. That's a cool thing. So, all this in a nutshell is, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. The only way you can grow is by doing that. So, to everybody that I knew in Bamberg, Germany, not that all the Germans are going to see it, but, oh, quick, one more thing. I took German when I came back from Germany in school because I thought it'd be an easy A. It's not. It sucks ass. Because they don't teach shit you need to know. So, if you're going to go to Germany and want to learn some German, try Rosetta Stone. That will probably be better off. Don't waste your money taking a college course. Fucking sucks ass. Anyways, to all those that made that whole time of my life, y'all mean the world to me. I appreciate it, and I love, love, love Germany. So until next time, have a great day. Make someone laugh if you can. I am Bob Sixx. Peace!